All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are now joined by a special guest, none other than Mr. Leyma Dopolo, Ongos FC defender by way of South Africa. Leyma, thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing quite well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very good. I'm doing very good. Thank you. So let's take it before we get to your time in Namibia and your time at Ongos. Let's take it all the way back. Give us an overview of when did you start playing football and where did you start playing football? When did you first fall in love with the game?
I first fell in love with the game at the age of 6. That's when I joined. At 8, if I'm not mistaken, that's where I joined the team called Hybrid United.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I joined Curls River, and then I went on to join Old Mutual Academy. And then after Old Mutual Academy, that's when I joined Hellenic. From Hellenic, that's where I went to Super Sport. And after that, that's where I find myself right now in Namibia.
And, here in Namibia, we hear and read a lot about, the developmental structure of South African football. We've had some of the youth national teams come to Namibia for some tournaments. We've got some insight from them. But as a player, give us some insight into what it was like growing up in the South African youth football. What was your experience like?
To be honest, I had a great experience, obviously, in youth football in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
The youth development football is really growing, and I was one of the lucky players to obviously grow up in a setup such as Super Sport United, and they were known for developing young players. And if I can say, they were one of the best development. They were one of the best development teams, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before they obviously got sold.
Yeah, and now speaking of them being sold, what are your thoughts on Super Sport United? Especially basically no longer existing. Like, what are your thoughts on that? We've seen before you answer. Sorry, we've seen similar happen now with Bidvest. Also, these are big names in the South African football that no longer exist. What are your thoughts on that?
It wasn't a nice feeling, obviously, not only for myself but everyone that was involved in the team, and as well as for South African football as a whole. As you mentioned, Bidvest first was one of the teams also that were doing quite well in producing young players, not only for the country, for the national team, and obviously abroad. So it was the same thing with Super Sport United. It wasn't a nice feeling, but yeah, it happens, and it's becoming a norm now, which is really hurtful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of household names are leaving us these days.
Yeah.
So back to now youth football. You represented South Africa at under 17 level. Talk to us about what it was like being involved in that structure. You played with players from different parts of the country and so on. What was that like?
I would say it was a great experience, not only being part of the national team and winning the COSAFA under 17, but just being there surrounded by the great players that were part of that squad. To mention a few, Puso Titechan was there. He's currently playing for Chicago Fire. Duduzi Shabalala, currently at Kaizer Chiefs. Ongos, currently at TS Galaxy in the first team. So these are players that I was lucky to be surrounded by, and are doing quite well. Come back to your question. Being part of that squad was really special, and obviously having the man in charge of us, Fela Kumalo, currently the head coach of the Kaizer Chiefs MDC team. He was also part of the technical team at the Under 17 World Cup. So. And not to forget to mention Coach Morena, who's currently the head coach of Botswana's national senior team. So it was quite a privilege to be part of that team, and I'm really lucky to say that I was part of that team. Yeah.
And when you were part of that team, did you guys play any like international tournaments?
No, we only played the COSAFA under 17, and obviously we won it, and then we're supposed to play the AFCON the following year, but then that's when COVID hit.
Okay. Yeah. And in your time in youth football, did you, whether it was with Super Sport or any other club, did you get to play any international tournaments?
Yes, I was able to play youth international tournaments with Super Sport United under 14, the Yoden Cup that was played in the UK.
Okay. What was that experience like?
Yeah. If I can relive that moment again, it was quite a great experience. Learning, seeing how things are done. Yeah, and not to forget to mention, I also played just few friendlies after we won the under 23, under 20 Ski Challenge League. Yeah, it was 2023 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
we got to play in the UK again, which is just something else. Football on that side of the world is really different.
Yeah, could you like feel the difference in levels?
Yes, I could feel the difference in levels. Yes, they sad to say, but they're way ahead of us as Africans in football. Yeah.
And when you were in at Supersport, and then when you joined the under-17 national team, did you feel like you know you were of the level of the national team, or did you feel like some of the players were a bit ahead of you in terms of like skill and tactical understanding and things like that? Like, did it feel like a big jump for you when you started playing for the national team?
No, it wasn't a big jump to say, because at the time I got called up to the under-17 national team, I was already playing under-23 football.
Okay. So you're used to like a fast-paced football.
Yeah, fast-paced football. Yes.
Who were some of your footballing heroes growing up? Can be local or international.
There was quite a few players. Yes, there was quite a few players. Tulani Hlachwayo was one of them. And I was lucky to share the changing room, not only the changing room, share the pitch with him as well at Supersport United. We had the likes of Happy Jelly was also one locally in South Africa. There's quite a few names, yes. Yeah.
Any international names that you looked up to, or maybe still look up to today?
International names: Sergio Ramos, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly. Yeah, those are the players that I actually enjoyed watching.
Yeah. And did at your time at Supersport, did you have any interactions at all with Gavin Hunt, or was he gone by then already when you were there?
When I was at Supersport, I worked under Coach Gavin Hunt. Yeah, he's the one that actually gave me my professional debut in the CAF Confederation Cup. So
okay.
Yeah, I worked with him.
What was it like working with him? I mean, we only see him on TV, so what what was he like in person?
He's just himself.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's just himself. He has no filter. He wants the best for everyone and for the best for the team. And he's one coach that really gives opportunity to young players. So, and so I mentioned I was really lucky to play under him.
And now, speaking of your professional debut, give us some insight into when you first got the notice that you're going to be turning professional. What did that feel like? And maybe what was that process like? Do you like sign a contract to say, I'm officially professional now? How did it work?
Way before the time I actually got invited to train with the first team, I signed a professional contract.
You were how old then?
I was 17, 18 if I'm not mistaken, when I signed my first professional contract. So at the time I was playing under 23 football, but I was training with the first team as well. So it wasn't anything that was said to me. I was actually caught by surprise because I was training with the team, and then as we're preparing for the CAF Confederation, that's on the day, that's where I saw, hey, I'm actually in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, it was a great feeling. It's a feeling that one can't express into words. There was a lot of emotions involved as well, not only from my side, but from the family, and obviously the ones close to me. But yeah, thanks to the man above.
Yeah. And that particular match, how did that go? Do you feel like you put your best foot forward, or?
To be honest, I felt like I did put my best foot forward. I gave my all. Obviously, it's a moment that all players wait for, obviously, to make it professionally. So yeah, I believe I put my best foot forward, and the game ended 1-1.
And okay, since then, now obviously you've signed for Namibian team FC Ongos. Tell us about how did that come about? Was it something that was always on your radar? And yeah, we'll take it from there.
For me, it was, I wanted to get out of I wanted a new environment, and obviously to get out of my comfort zone.
So sorry, not to cut you off. So you did you want to leave, or was it because Supersport was sold that you said, okay, now I have to look somewhere else?
Supersport was sold,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time, my contract was coming to an end.
Okay.
So when the team switched to Siwelele FC now at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
it was decided that my contract won't be renewed.
Okay. Okay.
So it was a thing. There was I had an option to stay in South Africa,
Uh-huh.
but as I also said when I answered your question, I wanted a new challenge and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was speaking to my agent and from the research that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
I saw the Namibian Premier League as a growing and competitive league
Mm-hmm.
where I could further my development.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, I felt like it was the right move for both my personal growth as well as my career.
Yeah. And so did your agent reach out to Ongos, or did Ongos reach out to your agent? How, like, I'm curious, how did that connection come
I
about?
would be lying if I said I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now since you've been here in Namibia now, it's since October. It's a few months now. How have you been settling in? Like, what are your thoughts on Namibia, and so on?
It's been a great experience so far.
Yeah.
From the moment I arrived, I felt welcomed
Mm-hmm.
from my teammates, the club, as well as the supporters.
Yeah.
And Namibia, it's quite competitive. It's quite competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I've enjoyed adapting to different style of plays, as well as growing as a player, as well as a leader.
Yeah. And I mean, Namibia is not too different from South Africa, so I don't think, maybe culturally it's not that, hasn't been that much of a culture shock, you would say?
Culturally,
Or socially, rather?
socially, yeah, obviously trying to adapt to new cultures, different personalities, different people,
Mm-hmm.
language barrier as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but with the teammates I have and the technical team that we have and the people that I've been surrounded around by,
Yeah.
they made the transition much easier for me.
Now, how has it been working with Coach Ronnie?
Coach Ronnie. I won't lie. It's been great working with Coach Ronnie.
Yeah.
It's been great. I've learned a lot from him,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to believe I've grown as a player under Coach Ronnie Kananelo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's a polarizing figure. Let me say like that. But definitely a smart footballing mind. What are your thoughts on Namibian football overall? Has the level been higher or maybe even lower than what you expected? How would you assess Namibian football, especially in comparison to what you're coming from, South African football?
I'm not one to compare.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I saw Namibia as a growing and competitive league. So with that being said, Namibia is growing and it is becoming competitive because with a number of foreign players coming in the country and obviously leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say they're on the right path. They're on the right path.
Yeah. And is there any other South Africans on the FC Ongos team, or are you the only one?
No, I'm the only South African in
Yeah.
Ongos.
Is there any other foreign players, other like maybe from Botswana, Angola?
We have 2 Zambians and a Ghanaian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you're 21 years old, correct?
22.
22.
Yeah.
How would the city of Windhoek? What do you think about the city of Windhoek? And before you answer, I asked that because for many Namibians, especially those that come from outside Namibia, Windhoek is seen as it can be a place with many distractions. Let me say it like that. And I also know a lot from listening to a lot of South African players, a lot of young South African players that sign in South Africa that sometimes it can be easy to be distracted. So in comparison to SA and Windhoek, how is that for you?
I've heard a lot about Windhoek being a distraction, as you just mentioned now.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say I find it quite well for me as well. But the thing is also, I don't have much to say about Windhoek being a distraction, whatever the case may be, because I'm always indoors.
Okay.
So I won't. Let me say I'm not the right person to judge.
Yeah.
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 That one.
And outside of football, what do you enjoy doing? What's an activity you like to partake in?
I enjoy playing PlayStation,
Mhm.
watching series, movies, going out with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going out with the family as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about me.
And when you moved to Namibia, you came alone, or were you able to move with some family?
No, when I moved to Namibia, I moved alone.
Okay. So I'm sure you're in contact a lot with your family on WhatsApp and such. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners before I let you go today? Something people don't know about you, or maybe even something you want to ask out there that maybe our listeners can help you with when it comes to Namibia?
About the questions, no, I don't have any questions, but I just want to say thank you to all the people that have been supporting me and showing me love. It really keeps me going. And I want to say the love and support is not going unnoticed. And I'll just love to ask them to keep on supporting me and showing me love. I really appreciate it, and it keeps me going.
And actually, before I let you go, I just want to pull up the table so I make... Ongos is third in the table. Currently 6 points behind African Stars. What would you say to the fans out there in regards to the title race?
Regarding the title race, I'll just like to say, all we have to do now is control what we can control. Just give our all every game, because there's 4 games remaining now. All we're gonna do is just keep on doing what we've been doing, and keep on working hard, and obviously push to win the 4 remaining games. And if it happens that we end up winning the league, then so be it.
Actually, okay, last question. I just thought of one now. In our league, as you know, we play Saturday, Sunday. And I'm sure it wasn't that way for you coming from SuperSport United. How has that adjustment been physically for you, and maybe mentally as well? How have you found that?
At first, I didn't understand what was actually going on. Yeah, because playing Saturday, Sunday, it really takes a lot from the players. Because on the Saturday, obviously you give your all, and then the Sunday you have to give your all again. It's not easy, but obviously that works on the mental strength as well. And that's where I would say the technical team comes in, obviously trying to motivate the players, keep the players going, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, but mentally I'll give it up to the Namibians. They're quite strong mentally to be doing that season in, season out.
Yeah.
It's really big ups to them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Have you had communications with Coach Manetti?
Yes. Yeah, he's the director of the team. Yeah.
How have you found him?
I found Mr. Manetti. He's a good guy, positive guy. Yeah, always wants the best for the team, and he's been encouraging. Yeah, and I would also say he's kept me going.
Yeah.
He's kept me going with the words of encouragement, not only to me but the team as well. So yeah, big ups to him. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, he's. Did you know about him before he signed? Like about his footballing career?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, he's one of our. He played with Coach Ronnie actually. They were in the national team together.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, he's one of our local legends.
Yeah.
What team do you support in South Africa?
When I signed for SuperSport, that's when I started supporting SuperSport from then. Yeah. So I don't have any team that I'm supporting at the moment. I'm just enjoying the football.
Okay. Now, okay. I know I said my last question before, but now my last question: what do you think about this whole situation with Morocco and Senegal with the AFCON thing? What are your thoughts on that?
I'll prefer not to comment.
Okay, point taken. Thank you very much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season and your career moving forward.
Thank you very much, and I just want to say happy Independence Day to Namibia.
Thank you.